This feels like my most intimidating write-up yet, or at least second compared with another which is still in the works. I'm talking right now about Michelangelo Antonioni's Blow Up. I almost want to give up and just either read out quotations from other sources or even let the screen caps speak for themselves. But I wouldn't be happy with that. What is Blow Up? A rather surreal venture. To describe this film's plot would be to give the wrong idea about its execution, perhaps. If I said that Blow Up was about a photographer, upon developing his film, discovering that he has photographed evidence of a murder in a park, you might think of something Hitchcock derived. I could claim that Blow Up is a more meta affair, an exercise in a viewer realizing what they missed in an earlier frame. Blow Up is a vague treatise on the capturing of images itself. David Hemming's Thomas, the photographer, acts like a vain demigod in that he can capture the essence of a moment for posterity. It has been written that the film is less about the character's distress at the homicide and more that he wasn't able to, as an artist, a photographer who wants to ensnare the temporal, giving it an existence beyond memory, he wasn't able to capture the essence of that space in time. Thomas experiences malaise in not realizing the true nature of what he was photographing until after the fact. Photographs grew to rule culture. The free market gloried in idealized depictions of a prospective, potentially reachable paradise. In a sense, the photographer could rule the world's desires, determine one's perceptions and expectations, record the faintest glimpse of a past moment, and offer up a case for the nature of one's entire experience. Proof of one's achievement, a chronicle of history, a celebration of culture, evidence of a crime. In the mid-1960s, why wouldn't a photographer feel like a god amongst humans? But the photograph, or rather the universe which photographs take place in, a memory or memory simulation of time past, offered more of an individual vanity for the capturer. It was a medium which seemed to offer more insight into reality than the actual lived experience of reality itself. Perhaps this is what drove Thomas to his disturbed state, facing the extent of what he was incapable of realizing, what this technological medium could perceive which he could not, the irrelevance of his senses, and the irrelevance of that which he prided himself, a mastery of said technological medium, photography, the capturing of images. He no longer feels at ease in a lived reality, the present experience. He knows too well the authoritative knowledge and insight of the recorded past. Maybe this is why he chose to disappear. He belongs to a higher plane of existence, not fit for reality. The captured history is more tangible and clear than when experienced as present or reflected upon solely as a memory. To become enveloped in captured history can potentially result in a difficulty or inability to engage with the temporal present. It reminds me of those who use too much internet and believe its contents to demonstrate more a higher reality, a more valid reality, than what happens to them when they go outside and just walk around, taking a look at the world. How does one function? Blow Up is one of the most extraordinary and creatively charged film productions one can be witness to. Its direction cements Antonioni as perhaps Europe's most recent forward-thinking auteur. The cinematography, thanks to Carlo Di Palma, is some of the most impressive up to this point in film history. Its staging and decor in general, utterly superlative. Blow Up is reported to have had a budget of $1.8 million, although there are also rumours that it went very over budget, which I can believe given the lavish nature of its art design and the specificity of the photography. The rumours, originating apparently with actor Ronan O'Casey, who portrays the murder victim, claim that the film was originally much more coherent and thriller-oriented, and scenes were plans which would have depicted the orchestration and the aftermath of the murder, featuring Vanessa Redgrave's character, Sarah Miles's character, Patricia, Thomas's neighbour, interestingly enough, as well as the actor portraying Redgrave's new younger lover. The nature of the production of Blow Up may have been somewhat impromptu, manic and spontaneous, much like its narrative's peculiar kinetic energy. At least one actor, Sean Connery, refused the lead role as Antonioni refused to show him the script in advance. I cannot imagine why Antonioni did this, for artistic reasons or because he felt that the screenplay was partially irrelevant in this odd circumstance. Now, this was one of Antonioni's several collaborations with the celebrated screenwriter Tonino Guerra, so one imagines that this film would have been screenplay heavy, but given the direction that Guerra's work has gone in the past, I wouldn't put it past him to have been participating in this narrative filmmaking experiment quite willingly also. So let me return to that idea I toyed with earlier. Blow Up is partially a film wherein an audience realizes that pausing the film and rewinding it would give them a better idea of what happened in an earlier frame, and they were ignorant to the implications present in that one shot. They cannot rely on their senses to accurately interpret the stimuli. The interactive record of the event offers more truth toward its substance than just letting it play through the reel. The record is more important than the reel. A simulation, a recreation of reality can feel more real than reality. In fact, it has a greater claim to reality. Thomas was not able to decipher what was happening in front of his eyes, that which the camera made evident. Regardless of whether Thomas noticed the contents of his photographs, their record of events corresponds to reality more than Thomas's memory would, certainly had he not analysed their contents. Legally, the photograph is more of an indication of reality than Thomas, or anyone else's, memory would be. A photograph, film, recordings in general, what we might call the photo-visual chronicle of past occurrences, has come to dominate our understanding of reality. It seems obvious now in the age of cyberspace and hypermedia, but imagine how things would have felt in the budding dominance of the media realm during the 1960s, celebrity culture and mass-produced commodified materialism, the advertising ideals to which citizens and consumers were subject, shaping their beliefs and expectations about the nature of their reality. I may be missing the point entirely. I said at the start that I wouldn't read out quotations from other sources about the film, but I think I'll make an exception if that quotation is from Antonioni himself. Straight from the author's mouth. In Blow Up, a lot of energy was wasted by people trying to decide if there was a murder or wasn't a murder, when in fact the film was not about a murder but about a photographer. Those pictures he took were simply one of the things that happened to him, but anything could have happened to him. He was a person living in that world, possessing that personality. He has also stated, "It is not about man's relationship with man, it is about man's relationship with reality." Well, there we go. Blow Up will forever be one of my top films of all time.